And so as I'm in my garage and I hear, y'all excuse me, I'm a little nervous, but I hear Steve Harvey say, stop running from your gifts. Stop running from your gifts. I'm watching TV. And so I started thinking, what are my gifts? What do I have to offer? What could I do? And so I started thinking about my mom. And my mom was one of the people, she helped everybody in the neighborhood. And I took on her trait. You know, mine was more my boys, you know, my big dogs. So I cooked for them and all of these things, and then my wife came and broke all of that stuff up. And so we moved to Fairfield, where she was in the Air Force out here. So in that garage and listening to Steve Harvey say, stop running from your gifts. And you know, what are my gifts? My gifts are my mom's gifts. I help a lot of people. So what could I do? I always wanted to be a counselor, so let me try that. How do you be a counselor? I don't have the education. I grew up in a couple of shelters in San Diego. I grew up in Oakland. I grew up in the streets of Brooklyn. You know, my journey just keeps taking me. So, but along the way, I've helped a lot of people. I've touched a lot of people's lives, so I got a lot of love. I'm not rich in money, but I'm rich in love. I have a lot of people who love me and things like that. So, so with that said,
Thank you.
My thing is research, so I like to do. So I did some research, how to become a counselor. You know, you got to have your high school diploma and your college degree and these things. I left school in the 9th, 10th grade, so I didn't have any of those things. I tried to go back with the support of my family, get the GED. Of course, math was not my friend, you know. So again, discouraged, you know. So I'm at the Solano College and talking to this lady, and she was like, well, baby, older sister, she was like, baby, you don't need a college degree to do what you want to do, you know. And I was like, well, for real? So, you know, just talking to her. And so, like I said, I did my research, and so I went down to the city of Oakland, business mind. I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to sell cigars. So I'm an entrepreneur guy by heart. So anyway, I go up in the place. The way the system is set up to discourage you from doing one thing, which is selling tobacco, alcohol, those types of things. So he was like, well, is that what you really want to do? I said, no, I want to be a counselor. He said, fill this out. So I was like, wow, that's it? He was like, yeah, you just want to talk to some people, right? Yeah, that's all I wanted to do. So long story short, I came up with a name called Leaders of Men, okay? And I thought about myself, and I thought about my journey, and I thought about the people who came before me and who are my leaders and those type of things, right? So anyway, I created Leaders of Men, and that's a mentoring group for young men from 14 to 18, helping them navigate through life, teaching them not to bump their heads the way I did and a lot of people I knew bumped their heads. So Leaders of Men, well, let me stop there. Before we came here today, thinking about Miss Williams, she said, you know, can't you come speak about Kwanzaa? I have no idea. I know Kwanzaa, yes, but I don't know what Kwanzaa means. So I'm in the garage, that's my man cave, and you know, so I like you, I like to do my little research, my little homework. So in my reading, it said, it talks about Kwanzaa, and it talks about unity, and it talks about self-determination, and it talks about work and responsibility, and it talks about purpose, and it talks about creativity, and it talks about faith. So when I started reading, the first thing I do is the kind of person I am. Julius, Anandi, let's go. My 2 children are here. Let's go. Come in the living room. This is what I Google everything. Okay, just because I'm a person, I want to know what I'm talking about. I don't want to look stupid. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know, you just listen. You know what I'm saying? So I call them in there and we start reading. Because if I know it, they're going to know it. Everything that I learned, like I don't have no money, I can't give you no money, but I can give you all the knowledge I have. You know what I'm saying? So that's the person I am. That's the father I am. So as I'm looking at Kwanzaa and those principles, I start to think about my anytime process serving business. I start to think about my Leaders of Men. And my 5 principles are respect, because the number one thing in the life is respect. Respect is everything. Everything you put into self-respect, respect for others, respect for your church, respect for your work, your mother, your father, everything. Yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. You know, that's what my mom taught me. The second is self-management, and that comes along with everything. You can master yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, your attitudes, because we know a lot of teenagers attitudes, you know what I'm saying, but a lot of people on the jobs got those attitudes too. So what Leaders of Men teaches you is how to conduct yourself in any situation, to whether it be bullying or bullying on the job or sexual harassment, or it doesn't matter. We just teach you how to hone in on your self-management, how to kind of, we used to say, keep your cool. You know what I'm saying? Keep it cool. You're gonna act a fool. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna lose something. And so, and another one is recognizing your gifts. I don't know if you guys are like me. I had a lot of kind of hard time in my life, so I didn't start dreaming till later on in life that you can have something, you can own something, you can be a part of something. You know, those type of things. So recognizing your gifts early, that's what we're gonna teach these young men. You know, so we don't have to wait until you get older, you know, till you still got the energy, you can go after it. We teach you how to dress for success. You know, my teacher, Mr. Ivy, in the 7th grade, Brooklyn, New York, he told me, he's like, you know, all these youngsters in here, we're in the 7th grade, he teaching us how to tie a tie. He teaching us how to wear a button up. And if you didn't have one, he went and bought one. He was the math teacher, smartest man I ever met up until that point, me being 12. You know, and we used to sit in the class and give each other interviews, you know, and that was a critical part. I didn't even know at 12 years old that that was going to be one of the things that helped me navigate through life, was learning how to give a job interview, look a man in his eyes, and filling out a job application at 12 years old was going to help me navigate through life later on in the future. So, and then that's the dressing for success. And another thing was barbecuing. You know, I know it's kind of funny, but barbecuing helps. You are a leader in your home when you're preparing food for others. My mother did it for all of us. She did it for people in her neighborhood. She was a leader, you know, and I try to do the same thing with my children, my wife, my friends. You know, when you cook for yourself and you cook for your family and you cook for your friends and you're preparing that food, you are a leader. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's the basics of the things. And that's what Leaders of Men is, just teaching the basics. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a perfect man of rhythm. I'm not the educated guy. I'm not the complete religious person. I'm not perfect, but I know my son, he always laugh about this. He said, Dad, you should just try to be the best man you can be. That was 2 years ago. So we joke about it, but it's him giving me game. It's me recognizing that he took that game, developed on his own, and give it back to me. You know what I'm saying? So, so those, so that's me. I'm Anthony E. McDonald, Sr. I represent Leaders of Men. You can check out the website at leadersofmen.org. We are a non-profit organization. He's blessed me with that. Mind you, no the big education or nothing, but they passed this on respect. Me talking to the lady and, you know, telling her exactly what was in my heart and how I wanted it and what I wanted to do with these young men, and they passed it. You know, we are literally we got our 501c3. We are 100% nonprofit, so I'm super proud of that. More than that, my children, they see their dad and they see he did something, so I know I can do something. So my name is Anthony E. McDonald, Sr. I represent Leaders of Men, and I thank you.